Good Friday evening, everybody. This is Stephen Ray, and I hope everybody is doing quite well on this Friday evening. As I wanted to jump here on social media and let you guys know that we have a very, very significant threat of severe storms later today, later this evening, and overnight. Now, as you can see right now, if you were basically from Jonesboro, Arkansas, all the way down to near Brookhaven and Laurel, Mississippi, over there in northern and central Mississippi. The Storm Prediction Center has placed a good portion of your area over under a severe thunderstorm watch, and this goes until 11 p.m. tonight for the first batch of storms that are going to be moving through the Mississippi area. Now, under this watch, you can expect scattered hail up to lime size, scattered wind gusts to 75 miles per hour, and frequent lightning is possible. Now, what we're going to have happen is that there's going to be a moderate risk in place for a good portion, basically from the Highway 82 corridor all the way down to the Pine Belt area and Macomb, Mississippi. And the reason that there is a moderate risk out is because there is going to be a line of storms, which we call a derecho event, that is very possible across a good portion of Mississippi and, of course, Alabama as well. And we could see winds anywhere from 60 to 80 miles per hour within any portion of the red shaded areas tonight through the overnight hours in Mississippi. So let me take you over here and show you from the National Weather Service in Jackson. Basically, if you are along or just north of the Highway 82 corridor, basically from West Point, Mississippi, all the way down to the Pine Belt area of Mississippi and Purvis, you guys are in the moderate risk for widespread wind damage up to 80 miles per hour this afternoon through the overnight hours. Large hail up to baseball size and tornadoes are very possible. If you are in the enhanced risk, which is the orange risk, damaging winds upwards of 70, large hail up to baseball size, and tornadoes are possible. So this is going to be a significant severe weather outbreak tonight with winds upwards of 80 miles per hour anywhere within the red shaded areas in Mississippi. This is a serious situation. If you go underneath a severe thunderstorm warning tonight, you need to treat it like a tornado warning because this is going to be that significant of an event. Now, as we move over here into Alabama, as you can see, the Tuscaloosa Metro and the Birmingham Metro are under an enhanced risk of severe storms for damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour, tornadoes possible, and then, of course, we have the threat of damaging hail as well. And then, of course, you can see over here into Pickens County, down through Forkland, Demopolis, Linden, and points off to the west. You guys are in the moderate risk for the potential of significant severe weather this evening and overnight tonight. Now, here is the time frame from the National Weather Service in Birmingham. Basically, if you are along and west of a Cordova to Jasper to Brookwood line, down to I would say Greensboro and points off to the west. Your threat is from midnight to 4 a.m. in the morning. If you are along the I 65 corridor, your threat is from 3 a.m. until 8 a.m. And then far east Alabama from 6 a.m. until 11 a.m. And guys, this is a very, very serious situation. Now, as you can see here, if you are in the Tuscaloosa metro area, you can see damaging winds of 60 to 70. However, if you do notice down here, this orange line goes through a point of around Coker to Foster's to Taylorville to Duncanville, and then on around to Clanton and Auburn and points off to the south. If you are basically south and west of 2059, you can see damaging winds upwards of 70 to 80, and tornadoes are very possible with this setup. So this is a significant situation that is ongoing or is about to be ongoing here over the next few hours. So what I'm going to do is real quick, I'm going to take you over here to the radar and let you guys see what is actually going on. And I'm actually going to go back through everything one more time because this is going to be a very significant severe weather event possible tonight. And we all need to treat this like a tornado warning, even though you will be issued under possibly severe thunderstorm warnings. You really need to treat this like a tornado warning because winds of 80 miles per hour is absolutely nothing to play around with. This is a very serious situation, and especially with it coming into the overnight hours. All right, so once again, there is a good portion of Alabama that is under an enhanced risk, and that's basically from a line of around the Birmingham Metro down to Leeds, and then curving down to Wetumpka and points off to the west. And this does include the Tuscaloosa metro area. This is for an enhanced risk of damaging straight line winds overnight. And this is going to be a very significant threat of dangerous winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour coming in during the pre-dawn hours in the morning. Now, here is your time frame. Basically, if you are from Jasper to Cordova, down to Tuscaloosa and Greensboro, and points off to the west. Your time frame from the significant severe weather is going to be midnight until 4 a.m. If you are in the Birmingham Metro or along I-65 from Birmingham down to Montgomery, your threat is from 3 a.m. until 8 a.m. And then Far East Alabama is 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, like I said, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and points off to the south could see winds of 70 to 80 miles per hour overnight, and tornadoes are possible, and especially if you are south of the city of Tuscaloosa, including places like Foster's, Ralph, Romulus, Taylorville, Duncanville. I would say places like Moundville, Knoxville, Eutaw, Alabama, Demopolis, Linden, Livingston, places like Pickensville, Aliceville, Selma, Montgomery, Clanton. You guys are going to see a serious threat of severe weather overnight tonight, starting as early as midnight to 4 a.m. in the far western counties of Alabama. So, what I want to do real quick while I've got you here is I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to pop up the radar and let you see what is coming back off to the west, because we have a lot of action back off to the west that is heading in this direction. So, one more time, we have a significant severe weather potential later tonight. Okay, so what you're looking at the radar over here in central Mississippi. Okay, so you see the first line of storms is lined up from just over here towards Charleston and Greenwood, Mississippi, and then curving back here just north of Yazoo City. And those storms are going to continue to push on off towards Alabama. You also have a couple of storms up here just off to the east of New Albany. And those storms earlier were producing a tornado. It has such lost the tornado characteristic which is a good thing. But any of these storms over here in central Mississippi, we're going to have to watch as they continue to push on off. And that first line of storms right now is actually in a weakening phase, which is a good thing. However, there are more storms back off to the west. And what we have to do is we have to watch this batch over here near Oklahoma City, and also this batch near the Dallas metro area. So there's a lot of moving parts with this, and it's going to be a long night for sure. Definitely. Now, if you're in Tuscaloosa right now, there is a storm cell that is right here on the Pickens Tuscaloosa County line. It's producing a lot of lightning, and I'm sure there's probably some small hail about to come over here towards the Gordo area right now. We've had a lot of large hail reports today all across Mississippi and Alabama. And this storm is about 20 miles off to the west of Tuscaloosa, moving up here towards a point towards Morris Bridge, Alabama, up here north of Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa is dry at the moment. There are some other storms up here getting into Lamar County near Millport and just north of Macedonia, which is over here in Pickens County. And then we've also got to watch these storms over here in central Mississippi because these storms are capable of producing a lot of large hail and a lot of lightning and some damaging winds. And then eventually, as we get into midnight to the 1 a.m. time frame, this line of storms that is literally just off to the southwest of Oxford, Mississippi, those are going to be lined up over here along the state line, and we'll have to see how it progresses through the overnight hours. All right, so let me show you. I think if you are basically in this area right here that I'm drawing, you guys are going to be in a very serious situation coming through the overnight hours tonight. And that basically is from Northport and Tuscaloosa and points off to the south and to the west for the potential of damaging straight line winds up to 80 miles per hour. And I would not be surprised to see an isolated 90 mile per hour wind gust out of this. Tornadoes and large hail. I think if you are further north of that line, I think your severe weather risk is going to be a lot lower. But it looks like the bullseye for right now is going to be near Meridian, Eutaw, Linden, and Thomasville. But I cannot rule it out as far north as Foster's, Ralph, Romulus, and Aliceville. But this is going to be a long night of severe storms. I will be here to provide severe weather coverage or a secondary way for you guys to get severe weather warnings. But for right now, I think that circle down there, basically from Greenwood, Mississippi, down to just off to the Jackson Metro, then curving up here towards Laurel, and then getting back over here towards Tuscaloosa. I think those are going to be the places that are going to be most impacted later tonight through the morning hours tomorrow with a very significant severe weather potential for Alabama and Mississippi. And I can actually show you right now, while I've got the radar up, I can actually show you where the moderate risk is in relation to where we are. All right, so there would be your moderate risk that would curve from a point around West Point and Caledonia, Mississippi, then curving down to just off to the south of Carrollton. It includes Aliceville. It also includes Eutaw, Bolagie, just off to the west of Demopolis, then down to Sweetwater, Alabama. Then the enhanced risk goes all the way from Coleman down to Clay, Alexander City, Wetumpka, Montgomery, Birmingham, and Tuscaloosa. And then the slight risk goes over here all the way just almost to the Georgia line. And then on from there, it is the marginal risk and then the regular thunderstorm risk. So there is your moderate risk. Now, this will be updated again at 8 o'clock tonight. So it will be really interesting to see what the Storm Prediction Center does with this actual the day one convective outlook. It's going to be interesting to see if they move it any further to the east or not. Time will tell. But for one more time, I do need to mention anytime overnight tonight that you go underneath a severe thunderstorm warning, I want you guys to treat it like a tornado warning, because winds of 80 to 90 miles per hour are nothing to play around with, and especially when it's an overnight event. So that's the latest weather information right now. There is one severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up in Mississippi, and this does include the Walnut Grove, Mississippi area, and getting up here towards Standing Pines and Carthage, Mississippi. Now, let me see real quick if there are any signs of rotation with this storm. The potential impacts from this are going to be ping pong ball sized hail and damaging winds upwards of 60 miles per hour. So there are no indications of any tornadoes with this. However, the later you go into the evening and more that this line gets better organized over here in West Mississippi, then your tornado risk is going to ramp up pretty significantly overnight. All right, so what I intend to do is I intend to do another Facebook Live update, probably, and on my other social media pages as well. I intend to do one. Let's see, it is 7:30 right now. I intend to do one about 8:45. Before then, if any of these storms become tornadic.